Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Monday, October 4th, 2021. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Hope you had a wonderful day. A little gloomy out today, I guess you could say. A little bit cooler as well, as we're getting some much needed rain fall. Although it's coming at the wrong time because it's harvest season. I saw a lot of tractors and combines and okay, so I'm like a young kid at heart, love all that stuff. So it's been awesome to see, and great, just great to see the farmers. Every year you never know what you're going to get. A couple of years ago they couldn't get into the fields to get the corn off to begin with because it was so wet out, if you remember that. So this year it's almost the perfect storm. I mean, hopefully the rain will we get some, but it dries out enough so they can finish up their duties for the fall. And that's so much for me, as I know right there. So we'll stop that right there and tell you we have a great show coming up for you today. A lot to get to. This week is Fire Prevention Safety Week. Can I say it right? And we'll be talking with Adam Dorn each and every day. We'll be sharing different safety tips. This year it's what is it called, Andrew? Is it the sound of the listen for the sound of the beeps, I believe. Yeah. So sound of fire safety says. So there you go. We want to make sure that you stay safe. So we'll talk with Adam at fire department each and every day about fire safety, including today. We'll set up the whole week in our interview about why we do this every year. Plus, we check in with Bill Balke, our public works director, on the fire hydrant flushing. That's starting today. A little bit different process this year, so we want to make sure you know what's going on there. Plus, we check in with David Hill on our Fitchburg Senior Center update. So enough talking. Let's get to some headlines. And we start with the mayor's operating budget. That is out. And I want to remind you that you can go check that out at the website at fitchburgwi.gov. Also, we want to remind you that the next two nights, Tuesday and Wednesday, department head meeting, I keep saying department head meeting because that's what we do behind the scenes, but departments will be presenting their budgets and at the finance meeting coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you want to know what each department is doing for this budget year, you should tune in on Tuesday and Wednesday right here on the Gov channel F3. That's where you can find it. Fall hydrant flushing starts today. It starts October 4th and it runs through Friday, October 29th. Flushing will occur Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Due to flushing, water may temporarily be discolored. Discoloration can be cleared by opening your cold water tap to full flow for a few minutes. And here to discuss all of this is our friend Bill Balke, who is telling us about the process this year. It's a little bit different.
Well, over time, there's minerals and things that get into the water system, and stick to the pipes. So what we try to do a couple times a year is flow the water really fast through the system to be able to get those minerals out. And what we do is we flush them out of the fire hydrants that you see in your streets. So basically, we're just trying to kind of clean the water system up, clean your arteries out, get things ready and healthy for the next year.
Does this prevent then, when it gets cold out, help prevent from pipes bursting and stuff? Our main waterways bursting? Does that also play into that, or is it more just I like clean the arteries out?
Yeah, it's pretty much cleaning the arteries out. So it doesn't have any impact on the water bursts and breaks in the wintertime. So we're just trying to clean things up.
Fantastic. So we're going to do things a little bit different this year as far as how we move about flushing these hydrants and the water system out. What are we doing different compared to years past?
Years past, we didn't do quite a thorough job, or I shouldn't say thorough, but we just didn't do as an aggressive job as we had in the past. So this year, what we're doing is we're taking a little bit more time to make sure that we get all of the mains flushed out. We're
how are you?
Getting more flow through the system, and when we do that, it's going to take a little bit more time. So basically, what we used to do in the past is we had a couple of crews out, and it would take 2 weeks to get things done, but we weren't opening up the fire hydrants fully, and we weren't getting all of the mains flushed out as best we could. And so this year, what we're doing is we're breaking that up into zones. so that we can do a little better job of that. What we're going to do is we're breaking it up. We have 3 zones in the water system: east zone, a west zone, and a northeast zone. So the west zone is where we're going to be starting this year, which is on the far west side of Fitchburg. And it pretty much, if you can imagine a line where Osmondson and Seminole is, to the west of that and north of Lacey is that zone. So what it's gonna take about 2 weeks to get through that zone. We're gonna be starting that on Monday, let's see, that would be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Monday the 4th, next week. And it'll take about 2 weeks for us to get through that zone. And then we'll be working from the west side of Fitchburg to the east. So we'll be working on the far west side toward Osmondson to get that zone flushed out over those 2 weeks. Following those 2 weeks, we'll be working into the east zone. The east zone is pretty much going from there over to Fish Hatchery Road, Osmondson to Fish Hatchery Road in that zone. And then the northeast zone is like from Cheryl or Seminole Saine Road over to the far east side. So we've got the 3 zones, but we're basically breaking it up into two week periods where we're doing the west zone and then the east and the northeast the following 2 weeks.
Well, that is it's going to be aggressive, and it's going to be good to get these cleaned out. Will we see any more significant? So we always warn when we do this operation that the water may be discolored from doing this. Do you expect some of those type of similar things will be worse, will be better, or is it just unknown? And we'll still recommend that you do the cold flow at home to make sure you clear out those lines.
Yeah, that's what we would recommend over those 2 week periods, is just make sure that you run that water a little bit longer before you start doing your laundry and things that could discolor clothing and things like that. We would it should be about the same. It's just instead of doing over a quicker period, that it's just gonna take a little bit longer.
All right, Bill. Well, I appreciate the update, and we'll keep reminding folks of this here on Talking Fitchburg as we move through it. Bill, a big Badger win, hopefully, and a big win here for getting these water mains flushed out. Right there, water guy.
All right. Yep, we'll work on that.
All right, there you have it. Remember, do your laundry at night so you can avoid any colored or water damaging your clothes. Discoloration, that's the word. All right, we'll take a quick break. Coming up next, we open up our digest with our first of 5 interviews this week about fire prevention. That's next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. Ready! That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joined today from the Fitchburg Fire Department and Rescue. I'm adding that on now because that's just the way I roll. It's Adam Dorn. Dorn, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me back again, Jeremy.
Well, thank you for coming back. We've got a really good show for you here today. This interview is all about Fire Prevention Safety Week. It's here, and we're ready to make it happen. And this year's theme is Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety. And an interesting topic because we know to listen for it, but it's forever changing. And this whole week, we're going to get into the different sound. We are going to break this down, but overall, this Fire Prevention Safety Week. What's it all about there, Dorn?
Right. Actually, National Fire Prevention Week has some pretty horrific beginnings, so to say. In 1925, President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed Fire Prevention Week a national observance, and therefore this is the longest running public health observance in our country. The reason for that is that on October 8th, 1871, the Great Chicago Fire happened. It killed 250 people, left 100,000 homeless, destroyed tens of thousands of structures, burned 2,000 acres of land. But that kind of dwarfs into the other great fire of the day. I mean, everybody's kind of taught about this whole Great Chicago Fire, but the Peshtigo Fire up in Peshtigo, Wisconsin, actually was more horrific than the Chicago one. It actually claimed 1,200 lives. And it burned, basically, if you think of Green Bay, north into Upper Michigan, and from Green Bay up to Sturgeon Bay, that whole area was basically on fire during the Peshtigo Fire.
Wow.
So that's where this all kind of started. The National Fire Protection Association back in 1922 started this observance saying, hey, this is something we all need to be aware of.
Yeah, and we're going to actually talk at the later part of this week about those two fires a little bit more in depth and just the importance of Fire Prevention Week. As far as the things that happened during this week and talking about the importance of this week, what are some of the things that fire departments are going to do across the nation?
Depending on what their status is and their restrictions are in place with the COVID-19 pandemic, some places may actually be able to hold an open house. You might be able to come in, do stuff like that. Here in Fitchburg, we're not going to be doing that. We're actually taking it to the streets. We're going to go out to 2 different areas of our community and bring our education to the neighborhoods. So you'll see that. You'll see people going into the schools, firefighters going into the schools, because that is a huge aspect of this, is that we want to teach young people about fire safety, and so that they can take that with them throughout their lives. We teach them young, they remember that.
Absolutely. And we talked about this a little while ago when we were previewing this week as it is. And just again, exposing children to fire safety, fire careers, and more. Why is it so important, and why do you really hark on the youth? You really, you and I discussed this too, that we both remember our first fire visits, whether it was at the fire station or them coming to the classroom. I mean, it really sets a precedent for kids.
It does. Young minds are very impressionable. And I mean, I remember a lot of things from my childhood that if I wouldn't have started to learn about things at that time, I probably would not have had any interest in becoming a firefighter when I did. It was always something that was there for me, but the older I got, the more interested I was because of all the other things that you can do as a firefighter. So it's like I said, they're very impressionable. And when we can make that contact with them, it allows us to explain to them that, we do make a difference in people's lives. You do have a great career. It's not something you have to spend years of school, years of your life going to school for. It's something that maybe takes 2 years of school to get started. And then after that, you continue to learn. And that's one of the big things, is that the learning never stops here. So it's very big that way.
All right, Adam, turning the attention to the next generation of firefighters in our community. I know the Fitchburg Fire Department has also been on a real big recruiting, really public safety in general. But that's a big goal in the fire department, and why we talked about, the importance of taking this out on the road into different parts of the community. But how does that play into this year for you guys in your Fire Prevention Week?
So one of the things that we have always struggled with, and I think a lot of fire departments do across the nation, is having a fire department that represents the community, that it looks like the community that they serve. And that's one of the goals that we have, is to try and make our department look like the community that we serve. So by going out to our youth now, yeah, it might be 10, 15 years from now before they can actually join. But by going out and getting into the community, we can plant those seeds and, let them know that this is a true opportunity for them, for long-term, for their careers, for their lives, to bring back to the community, give back to the community. That's just an excellent way for us to do that.
All right, Adam, well, I appreciate your time. We'll be discussing various topics all week long, including the sounds, specifically the sounds, action plans, and of course, we'll have a little bit more further discussion in fire prevention as well. Dorn, thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jeremy.
You bet. Adam Dorn, Fitchburg Fire Department. And again, check the website. Great tips on the Fitchburg Fire Department's website for if you're looking for fire prevention tips. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from the Fitchburg Senior Center, David Hill. It's been a while, David, since you and I have gotten together and talked on the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's Friday and no complaints.
That's always a good thing. We've got a lot happening here the month October, but just to quickly to wrap up National Senior Center Month, although your director said it's Senior Center Month every day at the Senior Center. How did things go for the month of September? It had a couple of events and it was fun.
Yeah, it really was. We had we had the ice cream truck from the chocolate shop with us, and we had a good turnout with our ukulele group playing as well, so that was a nice treat for everybody. We also had Diane Fronick's retirement party, which was sort of thrown together last minute, but we had a wonderful turnout for that as well. Diane had been with us for over 30 years, and so it was really a nice send-off for our folks of Fitchburg and staff as well, so that was great. Just a recap of programs. Wow, we had the recycling program with Claudia, a guy who's a staff member here at the city of Fitchburg, and we had over 55 people attend for that program. It was quite the turnout. So we have some really responsible Fitchburg residents that wanted to buy recycling. So that was really neat to see, and something that, from a programming standpoint for me is to take that as a signal of making sure that we're hitting topics that are in that zone that are of interest to our folks, and that was definitely one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I even got phone calls on that one, David. Like, when are we going to be? Did you tape that? Are we going to be rebroadcasting? I'm like, oh yeah, we got it. So. And you got another great lineup here as October rolls in here, even though it doesn't feel like October. We'll start with a big one here, and it's the Virtual Mind Over Matter, which is a yearly a program. And tell us about this program. It's awesome.
Yeah, we've had this program going for quite a few years, and just the instructors and the material that's brought to this program are just outstanding. And it's obviously bladder and bowel control for those that are struggling with those issues. This is just a wonderful workshop to work on different techniques that will aid you as you age, as we all are, and tips and tricks that you can put into practice. And, you know, it's a little tricky this year because we're doing it the virtual method versus in person. So we encourage people to sign up for this program. It starts October 18th, and it's 3 sessions starting at 1:30 in the afternoon. So you can get your lunch in, get prepared, get that computer turned on, and be part of this program. It's going to be well organized. And so if you struggle with Zoom and things like that, I understand, but this is going to work good for everybody. So we encourage you to register for that program.
Well, and speaking of technology, and you are the technology guru down there in the senior center, you've got an iPhone event coming up, and it's not necessarily a class, but more of a gathering. But not only will I plug this event, but you serve and help people with technology on any front. So first, tell us about this iPhone group getting together, and then tell us about the technology stuff that you do help folks with.
Yeah, well, this group, this casual, just come in and talk about your iPhone, talk about issues you're having or tips and tricks that you've successfully obtained that you can share with others. This came from your class with Andrew in helping people out with their iPhones. And when you have 20 plus individuals in a class, as you had, you can't get to everybody's questions and individual needs. And so I had a person come to me after your class and say, hey, I know a little bit about the iPhone and I'm willing to share that with others. And so that's how this group was created. So on October 12th at 9:30, we encourage those that might be struggling with their iPhone, that might know something about their iPhone that they want to share with others, to come in and just have some coffee and just shoot the breeze with others. And I think that's a great idea. And so that's coming up. Also, personally, I like to help people out more with the TV options of what's out there and available for folks. Netflix, Hulu, all the different add-ons you can incorporate into your viewing pleasure. And so that's one thing that I really like to focus on. Not an Apple guy, so come to you for Android questions, but certainly I'll help out with what I can. And kudos to you guys up in Fact TV for being there and ready to help folks with Apple products. We really appreciate that. So it works hand in hand, and it's a great thing to have.
Yeah, it is fun. We like talking Apple, of course, and certainly it's just fun to get down there. I want to come down to the iPhone one and learn some things from people myself, because there are so many different things to know. You know, we're certainly not know-it-alls at Fact TV, and Andrew and I love to learn from people too, because you find things out when you get together in those types of groups of best practices, and there's so many ways to do the same thing. Always, it just works.
Yeah, and also, I've got the teenagers at home, and you ask them a question, they just want to figure it out quick and hand the phone back to you, and that doesn't really solve the issue, and you don't learn anything. So I think this is a great way for folks that will take the time to work with each other to make it happen, and you learn, and then you can take that off your frustration list.
And David, I hear that all the time too when we do the classes, and I'm sure you do too, that, oh yeah, my daughter got me this and she said it was easy, or my son got me this. It's so easy, yeah.
Right.
No, awesome. And more classes to come in technology down the road, certainly. As we wrap up here, final one, apple pie making with Gus, a very, very popular one. And Gus is just a funny guy to begin with, employee. Yeah. A retired employee from Fitchburg, but tell us about, if you haven't got in on this one, you might want to.
Yeah, we're already getting phone calls for this one. Gus is a really nice guy. He likes to garden, and he likes to, well, you can't see it there, but these are canned green beans and a pickle marinade. And so he's big into gardening. He's big into baking. And last year, he was his first year with us, helping people make apple pies, and it was just a great turnout. And yes, he is a fun guy, and you'll really enjoy the class. The cost is $10. Bring your own pie plate, or one will be provided for you. This one is not online, so you'll need to call 270-4290 to register for that program. And I believe we have a limit of, I think, 10, maybe 12 participants. If you're interested, definitely give us a call, see if there's an opening for that. So, and I always like to encourage folks, if you want to be up to date on what's going on at the Senior Center on a weekly basis in between newsletters, we encourage you to go out to our city website, look around the page, but also click that blue button at the top and look at the programs that are being offered. We throw a lot of stuff on there that is mid-month. An example of that would be a wonderful program on advanced directives that's coming out November 10th, I believe, with a local doctor who was just recently highlighted in the Wisconsin State Sunday paper on the front page, Dr. Wendy, and she's going to be doing that program. It's going to be great. So go out to our websites and check things out.
It's like the sneak peek to what's to come. You now have the secret. David just gave it to y'all, so you know we have it. That's why I love David. He'll tell you anything. Well, David, thank you so much for sharing. You have fun out there, and the apple. I just go back to the apple pie thing. I think one of better moments of walking down to the Senior Center and seeing people making apple pies down there was pretty fun. So just throwing that out there. I had to take a peek and see what that looked like. So it's pretty fun. So but you take it easy, David, and we'll check back in with you folks next month.
All right, have a great weekend.
You as well. David Hill, part of the great staff at the Fitchburg Senior Center. Check out the newsletter. Like I said, check out the website and click on that blue button to see the latest programs that are out there and get yourself signed up. Very active at our Senior Center. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today, I want to thank David Hill from the Senior Center helping us out. You can catch the newsletter or the website for more information on what's happening at the Senior Center. Plus, we want to thank Adam Dorn from Fitchburg Fire Department and Bill Balke, our Public Works Director, helping us out. What a show today. Love these shows when they're busy. That means less of me talking, which is always a good thing for you. Just saying. As we wrap up, check us out on Facebook and YouTube, and y'all have a great day.